Hello everybody! Thank you for joining me again for another Sketchbook flip-through video. This month I'm going to take you through what I did in June. We'll start where we left off. You guys remember Fashion Cats. Take a look at the Sketchbook flip-through video from May if you want to get to know a little bit more about this. And on to the next page. We're all going to humiliate me for writing business wrong, and you'll all understand why I decided to cover up that page with a couple of watercolor sample pages that I got. These were from Opus. They whipped them up for me real quick so I could try out some colors, and I thought that they were kind of aesthetic and I wanted to put them in my sketchbook rather than just having them get lost somewhere, you know, never to be found again. On this page, this was right after I picked up a couple of new pens, and when I went to the shop, they didn't have the pen that I usually get, so I wanted to try something different and not leave empty-handed. So you can see I'm trying some lines here. The slightly thicker one, that's, are they over here? No. It is a Pilot G-Tech pen, which I know is pretty popular with other illustrators, which was why I grabbed it to try and give it a try. And then the other one is my usual boy, which is the Pentel Hybrid Technica, but instead of 04, it's 03. So it's a little bit thinner. Both of them are a little lackluster compared to the 04 that I usually get. They both have issues with angle of application and skipping / like having areas where it just doesn't put the ink down, if that makes sense. Anyway, so this page was just playing around with that a little bit, working on some more Fashion Cats. And again, just like idea exploring, getting used to the new pens, some referenced images. This one was definitely from a reference, this one was from a reference, and then all the Fashion Cats, for the record, are from reference. And then this was that shoe that got really popular on the internet briefly that everybody wanted. The Converse shoes. I'm kind of glad I didn't end up buying them because they were really expensive, but they're really cute, so I drew it anyway. We got some more Fashion Cats and just some doodles here and there. You know how it goes. So of course, as we've discussed before, I'm trying to use my sketchbook for more medium exploration and trying different things for once. Turn the volume down on that a little bit because it's distracting me while I'm trying not to speak too loud, seeing as I am not the only person in the house today. This is done with acrylic wash, and I did a sketch before laying down the colors, and it took me like so long to finish this page, but I think it looks really freaking cute, and I want to do more gouache explorations like this in the future. On to the next, more pen sketches, more idea generation. I had this idea, I wanted to make sticker books, which is to say books full of paper that you can apply stickers to. Back like when you were a kid, you put your sticker collection in there, because I find a lot of people are like, I like stickers, but I don't know where to put it, and I thought giving people something like that would be fun, but I ended up looking into it, and it was going to be like $5 cost to make books, which would mean I would have to charge like $10 to $15 for what is essentially a blank book. So I think we're going to have to shelve that idea until we can get a larger minimum order quantity. But anyway, we have some more Fashion Cats here, some lettering exploration. You'll see throughout this, I have a lot of quotes that have been jotted down because throughout June, I spent a lot of time listening to podcasts and watching Skillshare videos, and I've been like trying to jot down useful information. I could do that in like a separate notebook, but I prefer to do it in my sketchbook because I'm always reflecting back on the pages of my sketchbook, so the information is easy to find and integrated with visuals, so it's a little bit more compelling for me to read back on. Yeah, and then this was like, I had an idea for a drawing, and I was sort of iterating it and like fleshing it out and seeing where the concept would go, but I don't think I'm going to end up following through on it, but you know, you never know. It's always good to get ideas down just so that you have them there in case in the future you decide that they're worth pursuing. This one was really fun. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably saw a little while ago I put out like a requests like sticker tag thing and was like, hey, give me requests to paint. And so I chose a bunch of the ones that I liked the most, chose a color palette, and then decided to do a gouache painting of all of the concepts. So these are all individually sketched first and foremost with my pink, not Coley Race. What's the brand of this one again? It's right over here. My Pilot Color Eno, which is a 0.7 lead, and I always use the pink color. I use it for a few different reasons, but I'll do a video talking about my favorite art supplies probably sooner than later, since I'm starting to do more videos now. Anyway, this was like a really, really, really fun experiment, but it took 80 million years to finish painting all of this, so I have to find some way to be a little more efficient when I'm using gouache, because I am a very impatient artist, and I don't like having to sit down for like 3 hours to finish something that's basically just a page of sketches. On to the next. This is definitely a bit of an art block page. As you can maybe tell from some of the other pages, I'm starting to try to make my spreads a little bit more cohesive. So when I look at my sketchbook, I'm like looking at the spread itself and not just like chunks of the page where I'm drawing things. But this one was very like chunks of the page where I'm drawing things. There's some notes up here regarding videos. Yeah, I was watching a really awesome Skillshare video about making videos for YouTube and taking notes on that. This little guy, I don't think there's anything underneath him, but he is on a separate piece of watercolor paper. I thought it was going to be nicer, but I ended up being really impatient, so you can see, impatient again, you can see where like the brown has bled into the blue because I didn't let it dry properly, and that's totally my bad, and I should have known better, but I didn't listen. So it ended up just being a little sketch, and I decided to put it in here with these super cute, you can see them up here too, super cute kitty-shaped paper clips that my dad got me. And then this was the original sketch for it that was translated here. I just like wanted to draw Tom Nook in a peaceful moment because he gets too much crap. It's like a meme to make fun of Tom Nook, but he's a good boy, okay? He's a good boy. Yeah, I have another concept for a comic that I'll probably do once I get around to making a comic again. I feel like I'm averaging like one a month with those, which is cool because they serve their purpose, and I want to still have it be an ongoing project, but I don't want to rely on it too much like Fashion Cats. Here, okay, so this is one of the big projects that I was working on this month. I don't really talk about it anywhere, but in my newsletter, if you read that from the other day, there's a little bit of information regarding a project that I did for free. And these are the characters from that project. It's a webcomic called Warm Blood, and it's kind of a collaborative webcomic where each 3 to 4 pages are illustrated by a different artist, and it's all written by the same fellow. So I'll definitely give you guys information when you can see my pieces from those. But these were some really quick sketches that I did of the main characters because I wanted to have a shorthand for them while doing the thumbnails, which you'll see on the next page. Yeah, all of this here, these were me working on the thumbs, and the script I was working from was a little bit different from what I'm used to, so it was quite a process. These are quite a bit messier than I would usually do my thumbnails. And that, like, this is a page here, and like it doesn't look like a page, it's just panels, but it did come together as a composition in the end. But, you know, I love a challenge, so this was it was definitely different from what I'm used to, and I appreciate that. Here we've got some more notes. I think this was while I was working one day I do some on-call in-house graphic design work for a game studio here in my city. And I was listening to the Creative Pep Talk podcast while I was working one day. And I think I listened to like 3 or 4 episodes, and I was taking notes of all the stuff that was standing out to me. And again, I rarely like look back on this kind of information, but I like to have it here, especially when I'm feeling uninspired, so I can take a flip through and see the work that I've done, and then as well find these little peaks of these little pearls, as they say. Yeah. Also some notes of things that I have to do. Anyway, this was back to the Creative Pep Talk podcast again. These were some different quotes, and we look again at approaching the entire spread as a spread. I started just by writing these large quotes here, and then I filled it in with gouache accoutrements, which is very different from what I'm used to. I don't usually work in abstract or designy anything, so I feel like you can tell that this is pretty amateur when it comes to that type of thing, but whatever, it's my sketchbook. You can't tell me how to live my life. I'm gonna do what I want. Okay, back to kind of like an on-off, like different, normal. So this is kind of back to what we're used to. There's another comic concept in the corner here, which I may or may not actually act on. This was, I feel like I just like didn't know what to draw, and so I wanted to make a list of items that I want for my business. Yeah, in an attempt to focus myself and like try and find ways to bring them into my life. Going back to this page, is it on here? Yeah, this one here. Don't get caught in things you can't control. Find ways to work around it. Now, that's not a direct quote, but the sentiment is there. And so I'm constantly feeling like I do not have enough space in my studio and home to purchase and utilize materials like this that would ultimately make my life easier or allow me to create different kinds of work and build my business a little bit more. But instead of dwelling on not having the space, I need to find new solutions to make space or to find places to put this sort of thing. So I've been thinking about that a little bit this month, just trying to keep in like a positive mind space. And so by having this here, I was hoping it would help me to focus on the positives and not I can't have this, but what can I do to have this type things. We have the sketch here. This was the sketches I was working on for the Tifa illustration that I did, which was really fun, actually. I wanted to I was reading up about her character, and they were like, oh, she's like a fighter, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if she's a fighter and she looks like that, she probably has to stretch before she fights. And then it became building a composition of poses, and I decided to develop some of them here, and then the ones I didn't develop here, I developed digitally once I scanned and kind of composited all of these drawings here. Alrighty, on to the next. We've got another page of fashion cats. This was just from the other day. I haven't posted this anywhere because I'm done with fashion cats, y'all. I had a good time while it lasted, but a month of drawing like the same thing is enough for me, and I feel people are also kind of burning out on it a little bit too. We'll see about releasing some products with some fashion cat inspired stuff probably towards the end of the summer. If people are still interested, you never know. And then here I have stuck in a little piece of note paper. I'm not going to open it up, but it has sticker ideas for Patreon stickers. I was trying to do a brainstorm because I sort of ran out of my ideas that I had logged already. So I had to start fresh again. And then here were some explorations. This one was kind of like a reference from a little object that I own. And then I was sort of trying to develop it in my own way, in my own style. But it didn't end up working out, but it was still interesting to go through the process of trying to make it work. Then I have some Kirby's. Now I wanted to do a Kirby summer themed set of stickers, which I haven't decided if I'm going to follow through on or not, but once I started drawing sketches, I was like, how can I choose just two? I want to make all of these into stickers, so we'll see what ends up happening there. I have here, I received a commission from one of you lovely patrons. If you're watching, then you know who you are. And I don't know anything about League of Legends, and I got confused, and I thought that Kada was the name of a character, but then when I double-checked the request, I realized that it's like the name of a group of skins, and I was supposed to draw a different character. So luckily I didn't get any farther than just drawing this thumbnail, but I have to change my brain to draw the other character instead. So some of these colors back here was part of that. This paper really doesn't like watercolors, so I'm gonna stop trying to force it. I was trying to basically color match for this technique that I wanted to do, but working with watercolor and marker, I just couldn't get it to work either way. So I am going to explore gouache instead when the time comes. I have here also some concept sketches for the Witchy Kitty, which was the last fashion cat of the month. It was a commission from another patron here. And I did some ideas based on some photos and references and just fashion pieces that I was seeing here and there. And I ended up working with this one, but then it became quite a bit different once I started drawing it on the computer, and it sort of turned into its own thing, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome. So. And then we have here a tiny little emo plant. If you're in the Discord, you saw me talking about this in the scrub zone. This is going to be the next little series of characters I think that I draw. Mostly just because I don't use green a lot, so I thought it would be fun to integrate it. And here we have more of them. These are, the same character kind of expanded, and then I just wanted to play with some shapes basically, because plants have such beautiful shapes, and I want to see how I can interpret that into a character design. Down here, this was while watching the Majora's Mask playthrough at SGDQ. I highly recommend you go watch that video if you like speedrunning, because it's an amazing speedrun. And then here's some more notes from, I think it was another Skillshare class that I was watching, which was really interesting and kind of changed my perspective on some facets of marketing. So that's pretty cool. And then last but not least, we have a couple of little raccoons. I'm working on a character design for my D&D campaign where I'm playing a little raccoon. So yeah, these were like first steps towards creating it. It's definitely going to change from here because I'm not a furry artist, but I'm going to have to learn to be a furry artist in order to draw these characters. Unfortunately, that's my life now. But anyway, that's it for this month. I'm really pleased that I was able to fill up enough pages to kind of bring you guys like the full sketchbook video instead of having to wait until next month. We'll see how July goes in terms of filling up some pages. When did I start this sketchbook? I started this sketchbook. You see, I really need to start like writing notes so that I don't forget. I started this sketchbook in March, it must have been. Wait, no, May. Wait, is that true? Wow. I've gone through quite a lot of this sketchbook in a very short period of time, which is the goal. We want that. We want to just generate ideas, throw away the bad ones, keep the good ones, and keep moving forward, you know? Like we talked about in the last video, which again, I recommend you go watch because it's like 30 minutes long and it has a ton of stuff in it. I'm not going to pull out the iPad for this one. I didn't do a lot of sketching on the iPad this month, and yeah, I just feel like it's going to be an interruption, so thank you again for watching. As an aside, if you made it to the end of this, I'm going to note this down below as well, but starting next month, the sketchbook videos are going to be not exclusive to Patreon anymore. They're going to be early access on Patreon. So it'll probably be a month stagger where in July, you guys will get the June one, but in August, the public will get the June one. So you get it about a month in advance. If you have any problem with that, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know your opinion. But otherwise, we're going to be going forward with that starting presumably next month, though like I'll probably go through what is here at some point for a video too. But yeah, talk to you guys soon.